For the looks of things from Sophie Upton down at ground level, they're given the all clear to walk in. Will Jordan on top of the rostrum, flag in hand. They're walking in then for the BetMGM Haldon Gold Cup. They're off for the BetMGM Haldon Gold Cup of 2024. 5 of them making their way towards the first of the 12 scheduled fences. Sans Bruit and Bryony Frost, grey jacket, lifting off just ahead to Etalon out wide, the brown sleeves for Harry Skelton. And then Scarface, Harry Colton in the black and white. Upside stablemate, the nose-banded JPR One under Brandon Powell. And Djelo and Charlie Deutsch in the dark blue just last of the 5 as they run on down the side of the course on the approach to the water. So Sans Bruit giving a narrow lead to Etalon. Couple lengths up on JPR One on the inner of Scarface. And finally Djelo. Plain fence follows this water and then onto an open ditch. And each of the 5 pretty assured over the water, just a little stuttery on landing. Djelo, last of the quintet. So on to the 3rd they go. Sans Bruit jumping well, just half-lengthing Etalon on that occasion. And JPR One and Scarface side by side, a couple of lengths away to Djelo in the first now of a pair of open ditches in the race. Sans Bruit, again pretty swift through the air over Etalon. Scarface, black and white, racing wide of JPR One. And Djelo looking on as Charlie Deutsch briefly adjusts his right foot in the irons. Climbing now before the steady descent into the back straight. And Sans Bruit going enthusiastically under restraint under Bryony Frost. Just gets a hold of his head before they run downhill, allowing Etalon to move up within 3 parts of a length. The nose-banded head of JPR One just shading 3rd over Scarface, and Djelo continues last of the 5. So some air into the lungs now as they freewheel on the descent at around 33 miles an hour at this point. They'll climb then over the 4 fences on the far side, ascending all the time on towards the 5th. A little change in the order. Sans Bruit, Etalon, the brown sleeves, a close second. Tracked by Scarface and JPR One, and then Djelo. Sans Bruit, again quick through the air. Djelo remains last the 5, just switching out a little wider perhaps to try and get a better view of the fences. Charlie Deutsch aboard Djelo. On to the 6th they come. So Sans Bruit and Etalon almost inseparable now. Each jumping well. Over JPR One, Scarface and Djelo. Midway across in the back straight. Still meeting rising ground as they draw to the open ditch. Sans Bruit, again very nimble, very swift. Moving on again over Etalon. JPR One in the noseband under restraint from Brandon Powell. And again, a bold leap from the leader, Sans Bruit. A little over bold, if anything, on that occasion. So about to race out of the back straight now. Just the final line of 4 fences to jump in the BetMGM Haldon Gold Cup. Djelo is now just beginning to inch a bit closer. Dark blue soaks for Charlie Deutsch, taken up to dispute 3rd with JPR One. Scarface has dropped back to be last the 5, just being gently nudged into the bridle. The pace has been a fairly even one. They're still nudging 33 miles an hour as Bryony Frost and Sans Bruit lead them into the straight. Etalon, though, at the leader's quarter, Skelton sitting quietly. Then JPR One away to the left. Djelo on the right on straightening, and Scarface is having to work harder still. And they're now beginning to bear down on the 4th last. So on the left, Sans Bruit. Djelo being produced on the extreme right. Etalon up between them. Here's 4 out. Sans Bruit, 3 in a line in behind as JPR One now begins to breeze into it. Etalon backs out. 3 out. Sans Bruit in a little tight, joined by the strong travelling JPR One. Djelo on the extreme right is ridden along. Here's the 2nd last. Sans Bruit and JPR One in the air together. Now they settle down to battle it out. Djelo is joining in. Still 3 with a chance as they move towards the final fence in the BetMGM Haldon Gold Cup. JPR One picked up 2, 3 lengths ahead. Djelo is giving chase. Sans Bruit has nothing more to offer. JPR One is staying on stoutly, defying top weight to lift the BetMGM Haldon Gold Cup for John Romans, the Tizzards and Brandon Powell. Djelo went down fighting. Sans Bruit in 3rd, then Scarface and Etalon.
JPR One, to the rapturous applause of the crowd, has taken the Haldon Gold Cup at 11-4 for Brendan Powell and Joe Tizzard. The name Tizzard is synonymous with this race at this point. Joe read a stack of them. And he's trained last year's winner. He was involved in Eldorado Allen to a big point as well when part of the Tizzard operation when Father Colin had the licence, and a plan hatched has been perfectly executed, James.
3 in the last 4 have gone to the Tizzards, and this horse travelled like a dream. You got it right, Bryony got an easy lead in front on Sans Bruit. I thought there might be a little bit more of a contested. I think Djelo at the back of the field there, over the minimum trip on quicker ground. He just couldn't really get in the nice rhythm that he likes. He's run well back in second.
That's not a bad run considering all of that.
Cracking effort. I think both trainers, the first 2, will be delighted. And even Sans Bruit, the Nicholls horses, he looked a little bit burly in the paddock, and he's run well to 2 out and just tired in the closing stages. But they're well grouped here. Everyone's got a chance. The only disappointment really would be Etalon in the pink and brown there, because Harry Skelton looked happy to track Bryony and be ready to pounce when Harry wanted, but he didn't find very much, and he's weakened quite tamely from the final 2 obstacles. But here, Brendan Powell, the horse was absolutely on his toes in the paddock, kicking out. They paraded in front of the stands. He was very fresh when they took a turn and Brendan counted him down to the start, but Brendan's motionless. The other 4 all off the bridle at the home straight, and it was a question of how far.
Given his pre-race exertions, I was quite surprised to see how settled he was under Brendan in the race. He looked a pretty easy conveyance.
Yeah, he just took it easy. Nice controlled ride, just sat quietly on and found his rhythm. This is a horse who, for me, peaks very early on in the season. It is 2 main seasons so far as a novice hurdler and a novice chaser. The form has tailed off as we enter February into the spring. A horse that clearly goes well fresh. This time last year, fortunate unseating the last at Cheltenham. But Djelo, look how gutsy he is, because he actually gets pretty close at the line, really. He doesn't give in. Chai Deutsch, a couple of reminders up the home straight. He's very honest, he's very genuine, he really keeps on finding. There'll be plenty of races for him, probably a little bit more given the ground. These 2 meet again next time, over 2-2, maybe 2.5. I'd be probably sticking with Venetia's runner, but today, this horse has been prepped for the Haldon Gold Cup, and it's another Tizzard one.
Absolutely. He looked straight in the paddock. He looked like he was ready to do himself justice. And JPR One, who travelled beautifully into the race, has taken it up as they were in between the second last and the last, and has had too much in the end from the staying on Djelo, who doubtless himself will come on for it as well.
Just see the size differential between the pair of them. JPR One is absolutely ginormous, and he's bounced off the quick ground. Cracking effort. He's going to have a good season, but I say, bear in mind, the last 2 main campaigns he's had, it has tailed off as the season progresses to those festivals, but he's going to be pretty profitable up until then.
The locals here, Nick, at Devon and Exeter, they're used to seeing the Tizzard name on the Haldon Gold Cup trophy, and it's been business as usual in that regard.
I didn't sleep very well last night. I was a bit nervous about this. The horses have been flying, but you know, it's about big events like this, and you know, this horse is my next, the future. You know, hopefully going to take me right to the top, and made me a bit emotional. Made my old heart pump a little bit, but real delighted with the performance. He travelled like he can, you know, like a class horse with top weight, and then put it to bed well.
I'm guessing it's the embodiment of months of preparation as well. You've hatched a plan and said, this is the race that we want to win with, and we need to have him ready for today, and you've pulled it off.
Yeah, you know, we haven't had an away day or anything like that. We've just backed what we do at home. We backed the form of the horses, and, you know, this was halfway through from the new year onwards last year. I was saying, where am I going to start with this horse? Because that's what you do, and we love it here. You know, there was obviously 100 grand races at Cheltenham, Ascot, the whole shebang, but we love it here, and it's done well. And I think I maintained the second half of last season. We just didn't get his ground. I thought he ran well enough in the Arkle, but didn't get up the hill on soft ground. And I maintain he's a proper decent ground horse, and he'd be beautiful today, wouldn't it?
So what's the plan now? You say he's the future. What does his immediate future look like?
Well, obviously he'll get an entry in the Tingle Creek, and we'll see what the handicapper does to him. But I just quietly said to John there, I said, I'm not going to get bullied into running him on the wrong ground, you know, because there's all these spring festivals as well. So he's a horse who's really on the upgrade, and I'm going to make sure I manage him properly. So he'll have an entry in the Tingle Creek, but we'll just enjoy today, and then plan to try and get him to the festivals in the spring.
You don't strike me as a sleepless nights trainer.
You'd be surprised. I slept well as a jockey, but as a trainer, I don't fret. But I woke up 4 or 5 times just thinking about things. I try to make everybody think I'm relaxed in horizontal, but there's a bit more to it.
I mean, he was fresh enough in the paddock as well. He should come on for it.
I want him like that. Yeah. I want him like that. It's, when he went round at Cheltenham last year, when he fell at the last, he went round like a show-off and kicking out, and that's how I want him. I love it. He came at the top of the gallop last week and finished his piece of work and then let fly and had a buck, and that's him. You know, he's a gorgeous horse and he's a showboat, and yes, that's how if he walks around like he's fast asleep, then I wouldn't be that happy.
Joe, very well done.
Top man, cheers.
Thank you, Joe.
It's as if we've been gone forever, but soon it'll feel like we've never been away. It's showtime.